The world has gone completely corrupted, and there's no doubt about it. In today's video, we will be unraveling the dark sides of Christy Kinahan, a name that sends chills through our spine. With the recent news of the billion-dollar Kinahan empire built out of the blood of innocent ones crumbling down, we'll unmask the merciless secret criminal gang staying out of the limelight and catering to the huge expansion of the so-called untouchable empire. Christy Kinahan, one of the biggest drug dealers who ever existed, along with his associates, has finally been caught red-handed. So let's begin with today's video and closely examine the details. Christy Kinahan wasn't destined for a life of crime. Instead, he willingly chose it. He was brilliant, alert, intelligent, and engaging. He was raised in a middle-class household and attended one of Ireland's top schools. Hence, he had a wide range of career choices. Unfortunately, however, he chose to become a crook, a criminal, a smuggler, and a drug dealer rather than becoming one of the smartest people in the world. But why would a mentally fit person ever choose anything like that? Or was he a psychopath? Let's begin with his records. Till the age-old 1970s, when he was just known to the police for theft, burglary, forgery, and property crimes, it was not until the late 1990s that he turned to what he is today, the business of drug dealing, that made him one of the worst criminals the world has ever seen. While he remained inside the bars in the late 90s for drug offenses, he planned for something even bigger and more impactful. He utilized his time behind the bars to become fluent in two most popular languages in the world, Spanish and Dutch. But why? Well, he knew what he was up to, and as expected, he used these skills to expand his trade internationally. U.S. State Department investigators said he dealt mostly with heroin and cocaine. He grew the business into an empire of crime, importing from South America and dealing in Europe, especially in Ireland and the UK. After some years, he dragged his sons Daniel and Christy Jr. into the business just to make it even worse. Now he had a greater force, and he expanded his business to other continents and grew even stronger. In 2018, Daniel was accused by the Dublin High Court of running most of the day-to-day operations, which mainly consisted of arms dealing as well as drugs across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and South America. Christy Jr. is found to run and handle all their business accounts. Christy Sr. has broken the law a number of times over the years and spent a long time in jail in countries like Belgium and the Netherlands. But, apart from a run-in between one of his associates and the Irish National Liberation Army, the gang operated with near impunity as the Irish Gardaí struggled to track their international operations. But everything took a turn in September 2015 when Gary Hutch, a member of the rival Hutch gang and nephew of leader Jerry, was found flat at his home in Spain's Costa del Sol. Gary had allegedly been working with Daniel Kinahan until the pair fell out over a scheme involving a tiger kidnapping, where criminals take hostages and then use them as leverage to force their target to commit a crime on their behalf. Money switched hands, and one of Gary's associates reportedly agreed to be shot in the leg as a payment in blood for the alleged treachery. Now that was insane! In the end, Gary was gunned down by hitman James Quinn, who has since been accused of murder after reportedly begging for his life. This resulted in breaking out of a brutal and bloody gang war known as the Hutch-Kinahan feud, with at least 18 people killed, most of them being shot dead, including two innocent bystanders who were mistakenly killed. The feud rose to its greatest height in February 2016, when Daniel Kinahan narrowly survived an audacious attempt on his life that killed David Byrne, a Kinahan associate and brother of Liam Byrne, one of the gang's senior members. Daniel, who denies being linked to organized crime, also turned out to be a boxing promoter and represented Tyson Fury. He attended a weigh-in ahead of a boxing match that would see Jamie Kavanagh, whose father, Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh, was an enforcer for the gang, as face-off against Portuguese fighter Antonio Bento. As those linked to the fight came together in the lobby of the Regency Hotel in Dublin, 6 Hutch gang assassins carried out a raid, and none of them survived, so that was a deadly war. A getaway driver positioned himself outside the hotel, while 2 others, one all dressed up as a woman, were assigned to guard the door with handguns. 3 men wearing Gardaí riot gear then burst in through the door. Wielding AK-47s, the trio opened fire in the lobby, and Byrne ended up dying. However, as per the reports, Daniel survived and later claimed that he had seen the rifles being pulled 20 feet away before narrowly escaping as gunfire rang out. The feud prompted authorities to ramp up their efforts in order to catch the gang, bringing in the UK's National Crime Agency, the EU's Agency for Law Enforcement Cooperation, and the US State Department, due to the South American connection. In March 2017, they struck in their first serious attempt against the gang as Thomas Kavanaugh and two associates, Daniel Canning and Gary Vickery, were jailed on guns, drugs, and money laundering charges that would put their entire empire at stake. Kavanaugh was sentenced to 21 years of imprisonment for smuggling 30 million pounds worth of cocaine and cannabis hidden inside various industrial equipment, including hauls of cash and weapons, and raided his bulletproof mansion in Tamworth near Birmingham. His conviction marked the downfall of the UK branch of operations. The following month, 7 other members of the gang were sanctioned by the US State Department, most of whom are now based in Dubai, and issued $5 million rewards for information on Christy Sr., Daniel, and Christy Jr. The US Treasury also stated that the Irish mafia had joined the ranks of the Camorra, an Italian criminal organization, since sanctions were imposed on the cartel like they did on Russian oligarchs over the Ukraine conflict. At the time, Garda Commissioner Drew Harris stated that while the gang leaders may have eluded the police in the past, they would not be able to do so indefinitely and would eventually run out of money. The second blow was delivered when Johnny Cash Morrissey was detained in Spain on suspicion of running the group's money laundering operations. Irish citizen Morrissey, a former doorman for Rochdale, was arrested following a raid on his residence. Police in Spain said that the raid destroyed the gang's operations there and accused Morrissey of assisting in the daily laundering of about £300,000. Along with Morrissey, Spanish police also detained one of his associates and his wife Nicola, who was later released. Detectives said that the discovery at the beginning of last year of 200 kilograms of cocaine and 500,000 euros in cash concealed in vehicles with sophisticated concealment systems served as the catalyst for the Spanish police investigation. Fear on Dublin streets. Former Lord Mayor of Dublin, Niall Ring, alleges that the Kinahan Cartel was responsible for nearly 100% of the devastation caused by drugs in the North Inner City in the last 20 years. They were afraid not just of drugs, but were even scared of the horror of an international drug cartel fighting a territorial war. My own mother, who is now 87, has stopped attending Mass. She was terrified of going out, and there were a lot of folks like that. Children become desensitized to it. Gareth Hutch, the nephew of Jerry the Monk Hutch, who was accused of masterminding the assassination attempt on Daniel Kinahan in 2016, told Mr. Ring months later that he was afraid rival cartel criminals would kill him. Such was the terror. The net closing in. Sheila Brady, a 14-year Irish police officer, believes it will only be a matter of months until at least one of the Kinahans is caught. Miss Brady, who now operates a security firm specializing in organized crime, said that the net is probably closing in. However, they did not get to where they are by not being innovative and agile. I don't think groups get to this stage and then give up without a fight. The net is tightening. But if there is any little gap in that net, these are the very people that could exit it. The former mayor stated that while people still fear the Kinahan clan, Dublin has huge optimism now that the cartel is finished. And that's all about today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. So what punishment do you think they deserve? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more.